Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Today on The Real Female Entrepreneurs, we're brewing up some serious content magic with the founder of Social Bean. She's your go to gal for turning scrolls into connections. She's a social media manager, content creator, and a brand whisperer, helping businesses show up online with clarity, personality, and purpose. Since launching her business in 2020, she's mastered the art of authentic strategy. And you know what? She does stay caffeinated throughout the day and, all the time, just like me. I think I have about 10 coffees a day. Plus, the co founder of Long Distance Besties and a mental health advocate, making waves with heart. Please help me welcome the wildly creative and wonderfully kind Olivia Shears. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Hey, oh my God, you are so amazing. You have a fabulous story to tell. If I love hearing how entrepreneurs actually got to become the entrepreneur they are today. Like, what brought you to Social Bean and actually starting that as a business?
So, you know, so I grew up with my mom as an entrepreneur. She is a photographer and she also does photo organizing, help on social media. So she's been a business owner my entire life. My stepdad's been a business owner. So I think from a young age, I just kind of knew that was the direction for me. And I think since I was 10, I knew that's kind of what I wanted to do. So when COVID hit, I actually started my first business was picnics. If you've ever seen that, like picnic designs, I'd go to parks and beaches and set up picnics. Yeah, and then that transitioned into social media. So I actually had a few people approach me while I was doing my picnic business and were like, I love your social media page. You're doing so good at it. Do you think you'd be willing to do my social media? And so by 2021, kind of transitioning from the picnics to social media, and it's just gone from there. But it really all started. So when I was 19, I was valeting, like driving cars into condos. It was like nobody expects that. When I tell them I was a valet, they're like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
I know I don't look like a valet. And it was so I worked by myself. I would sit alone in a parking garage and I was the only one taking the cars back and forth. It was really hard to get days off. I was working either the day shift or half the week I was working 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I was also, my boyfriend gets home at 5. I'm already out the door till 11 p.m. We were just missing a lot of time with each other. I was missing time with my friends. I was missing all the fun 19-year-old experiences. And there was one time my mom came to visit me in Miami, and I tried for weeks to get this day off of work so I could go to a Dolphins game with her. And I tried and I tried, and they would not let me get this day off of work. My boyfriend ended up going with his friend and my mom to a Dolphins game, and they're texting me the whole time, like, we're having so much fun without you. And the next day, I quit. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to start my own business. So that's when the picnic started, was when I was like, I can't, I need to have my own way, I guess. So that's pretty much how it started.
That's amazing. So already talked about family and, having time with friends and everything, having a business right now. And how are you balancing that? Like, are you balancing it? Especially having fun, going places with family and friends, and also having a business. I mean, because that can be really a lot, especially being a social media manager and controlling things for people.
hmm it is really tough, and it's something that I guess I don't think I expected coming into owning your own. I think a lot of people talk more about the freedom of owning your own business, but we don't talk as much about the choices you have to make. So one thing, the valet job, I didn't have a choice in the things that I did, and that was hard. Now it's that I have to make these choices for myself. So sometimes I do have to just skip the fun times. You know, a lot of the time I have to skip the fun times. But if there's something like my mom coming to town for a Dolphins game, I'm gonna make it work. So there it is, the balance is hard, and it's something I personally am learning every single day. I think a lot of the people in my life can attest that I'm a workaholic, for lack of better words. I am the person at my laptop until 10:30 p.m. But if there's a birthday, if there's a graduation, if family is in town, I can make it work. And maybe that means Friday night I'm working till midnight so that Saturday and Sunday I can enjoy my family in town. So I definitely don't have any great advice for work-life balance because I'm still learning it every day, but that's okay. I think we're all still trying to figure that out.
It is, and I love the honesty for the simple reason that but that's what we've chosen. We've chosen that life because it gives us that freedom. Because I've been known to do exactly what you do. I've been known to stay up till midnight, 2:30, and then go to sleep, wake up, and because there was something that my family wanted to do or we wanted to go somewhere. And so I decided, okay, I'll work like a crazy woman to get this done so I can have that freedom. Whereas if I was in a 9 to 5 or shift work, I wouldn't have the freedom.
Right, absolutely. And I definitely I appreciate that, and I'm happy that my life has gotten to the point of being able to have those choices.
Yeah. And I mean, so I'm assuming you're in your 20s. Is that right?
Yeah, 25.
Oh, I love it. I love when I have young people on here. It makes me so excited because you know what? You're actually grabbing hold of something that some people only wish they would have had that opportunity to do at your age.
Mhm.
So thank you for paving a way for the younger generation to know that they can have freedom and flexibility and they are going to have to work hard for it and give up a few things and pick what they want. It's a choice. It's an ebb and flow choice you have.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, what advice do you have for other women who are just starting out and saying, "Oh, I want to start my own business," but they're a little scared?
Well, so I don't think this advice is unique to me, but it's something I very much have always listened to, and that's start before you're ready. And I think in a lot of ways that's been helpful in my life. I think I have a lot of perfectionism tendencies. So I want to make sure everything is perfect before I release it, but oftentimes when you start releasing things a little messy, it's easier to figure out how to make it perfect for your audience. So, for example, when I started my picnic business, so I would set up like a table and rugs and decoration and bring food. It was the whole 9 yards. I started the Instagram and the website for that before I even had one whole setup ready. So like my first few pictures were like a table on a rug. And then when I got my first booking, I bought a ton of stuff. And then over the course of 3 months, every booking I would buy a few more things. So 3 months in, I had enough to do maybe 6 to 8 different picnic designs. Um, but I think doing that helped me. I knew what the people wanted. I didn't, it would have taken me 6 months to a year to save up the money from another job to do that. So, and a lot of the ways, even my social media company, I've started offering services before they're 100% ready. They're like, 90% ready, but then they're out there and I get a booking and I wrap it up, and I just think it's helpful, and especially for somebody with those perfectionism tendencies, you can keep pushing it off and pushing it off and not ever starting because you just don't feel ready. So yeah, I would just say start before you're ready.
Start before you're ready is key. The simple reason, and that it doesn't have to be perfect. I love the fact that you brought that up because I mean, we're all recovering perfectionists. I have a tendency to believe that we're all a little bit, if we're an entrepreneur, we have a tendency to be that. So, but starting beforehand is key. Thank you for that. That is amazing. So, knowing what you know now, all right, in business, it's starting 2 businesses from scratch. Oh my god, amazing. What would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self?
Oh my gosh. I would probably say don't let people walk over me so much. I think so. I started when I was, I think, 19, and over the past 6 years, there's been a lot of situations. I worked for free for people. I
Mm,
worked for really low amounts and way too long, and I did services that were out of my scope of services. And for a long time, and that's, it's still something I'm getting better at to this day, but I think that that was an issue I had back then, was just not taking myself seriously enough and the business serious enough to say, no, I can't do that. I can't
mm.
offer that. And I think I was scared. I was scared of losing clients, losing potential money and opportunities. So I would say just don't be so scared to say no, to push back. And now I've gotten to the point where I've said no to opportunities, and within days, a better opportunity came. And I just think that's how life works. When you say no to something that's not meant for you, something that's meant for you is right around the corner.
Oh my god. Yeah, when one door opens, another one when one door closes, another one opens. I mean, that is yeah, yep. All right. What is one key strategy that has helped you advance in your career in business that maybe somebody looked at you even and said, "Oh, that's not gonna work," but you did it anyway, and it worked?
I would say so. For my social media business, I think a lot of people like to niche down. I think niching down is important in general in a lot of business sense, but I see a lot of social media managers that only work for the wedding industry, that only work for mental health experts, and I've niche down my services, but I'll pretty much work with anybody. Not anybody, but like I'm not industry niche specific. And I think that's really worked for me for a lot of reasons. It's given me a more vast opportunity of clients, as well as ensuring no 2 days are the same for me. So I have a lot of the wedding industry and mental health are kind of my main areas, but I also have worked way beyond outside of that. I'm starting a dog account this week, like a influencer dog, which is not something I've ever done. So I think I like that about not having 2 days be the same, getting to learn all these new industries, having this vast opportunity of clients and not feeling like I'm shelled up into this little circle of I can only work with XYZ industry. So I'm all about niching down though. I'm so niche down in the areas that you think are important and relevant, but I think people get super fixated on every part of my business needs to be niche to this super specific person when that's not always the best idea.
Okay, I can't wait to see the dog stuff because that's gonna be so much fun.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is probably the most exciting account I've had. Um, Dogs are like my cup of tea.
Do you have a puppy or a dog?
I do. You might hear her barking in the background. I have a German Shepherd lab.
Oh, gorgeous. So she's sorta big.
She's 75 pounds.
Okay, and I have a 7-pound Yorkie, so hello.
Funny.
And
Yeah, she's large.
yeah,
She's
well,
a
he
big dog.
thinks he is. He
You
thinks
know,
he's large. Yeah, he
my
thinks
dog thinks she's a lap dog, so opposite.
totally. So cute. So, can you share any future plans that you have? Obviously, you take it on a new fun account, but any other future plans that we need to keep an eye out on for?
Definitely this next year, I'm very eager to grow my services. So I'm very social media specific. I don't really go outside of that. As far as Google advertising, brand design, I stay very much in the social media bubble. But the goal for 2025 is to hire out somebody to do email marketing, to do those Google ads, to do the branding stuff. So I would love to just expand, and I have all these clients all the time ask me, "Do you do those services?" And I think I've been taking the I don't know, not the great route because I have to be like, no, I don't offer those, but I'll recommend people. So I really want to be able to offer that so my clients can have the full circle marketing experience with me.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think that's a needed add-on for you, so I can't wait to see that come alive for you at the end of this year.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. If you had a superpower for just 24 hours, one day, what would it be?
I would absolutely read people's minds. 100%. I can't think of anything better. I'm a very I can be an overthinker, and I think yeah, just I get anxious about what's on your mind, what's on their mind, what are you thinking? So I would just love to just pop into everybody's minds, see what they're thinking.
That would be cool. Just to go, okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, I was right. They really don't like me.
Exactly.
Oh, she really thinks that of me? Oh, wow. Okay. You know,
Exactly. I would love that. I would have a great day.
that would be fun. That would be fun. And I would want to go to like weird places as well that nobody knew me.
Mhm.
Not just people who know want to, yeah, I'd want to know what they thought, but I would want to go to the weird places too.
See what's on strangers' minds too.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
where? I would wanna go to New York City because, they're blank usually, they don't care, but they really do, and I
right.
think that would be fun.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea. I would do that too.
And even where you live, I mean, they're busy, that would be fun there too.
Yeah, go to Miami Beach and walk around.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, what's one fun fact about you that not a lot of people know about?
Oh my gosh. This is a fun one. Definitely fun. I went skydiving for my high school graduation, and it was actually a very nauseating experience. I'm not sure if I would do it again. So you're in like the little plane in the sky, the little, 10 passenger plane. That got me feeling a little icky. And then you do the free fall, that was great. And then the parachute comes out, and I started going in circles all the way to the ground. As soon as I got home, I slept. I fell asleep for 16 hours or something. But I would definitely recommend it to do one time. And I don't really talk about that very often. It's just such a random thing to be like, I went skydiving. So that was just the first thing I thought of for a fun fact.
That is a fun fact, that is pretty cool. I've never been, so probably won't.
I do recommend, as much as I'm like, I got so sick. It was cool. It was a great once in a lifetime opportunity. Just one time though.
It was a
Yeah,
bucket list thing and check mark. It's over with.
exactly.
All right. Favorite book?
Um, I would say the 10x rule by Grant Cardone. I know he's a little controversial, but I like the motivation, the form of motivation that's a little more, for lack of better words, aggressive, I guess. Like that really pushes me. Um, I feel like somebody telling me, it sounds terrible, but like if somebody tells me you can't make it, I am I'm making it. Like there's no question about it. I have to prove people wrong. I have to like, so that's just the type of, I know it doesn't work for everybody, but that like go out and get it. Don't take no for an answer. Like the very aggressive forms of motivation is kind of what, it's really what pushes me. I don't know why, but it does.
So could I also assume that you're a little disruptor as well? You could
Probably.
disrupt industries a little bit, like taking on the dog, influencer type thing is gonna be like you could disrupt that industry a little bit and have fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Yeah. It's just because you like that push, and disruptors usually like that extra push. So I love that. I love doing this. I get to see so many personalities and so many of you about what makes you tick, because we all different. We all have a different tick.
Right. I loved hearing that stuff too. I was a communications major in college, which was a lot of psychology based classes, and I just am very fascinated with how humans think and work and what motivates them. So I agree with that. I love seeing that too.
It's fun, especially what you do. Mass communication fits right on in with social media. It's hand in hand, and that's what you graduate in. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Songs. What about a song or songs? Do you have some favorite ones for us?
So this one's kind of funny, and I think it's like 5 years old now. But have you heard the song Vacation by, I think it's Dirty Heads?
No, but I'll probably love it.
Okay, it's all about loving your job, which is kind of funny. Like you'll have to listen to it. Vacation by, I believe it's Dirty Heads, but it's all about like I'm on vacation every day because I love my occupation. Like, and so when I'm having, not every day, but when I'm having a good work day, I'll blast that and be like, I love my job. So that is that is up there. That's a favorite. Um, gosh, I'm very open with my music. I'll listen to um rock to hip hop to rap to country. I'm kind of all over the place, so it's so hard for me to narrow down to a song or artist. But I would say, as far as work and life, the vacation song is very relevant. And there's been so many days where I blast that song and I'm like, it's such a good day. I'm so lucky to live the life I live and have the job that I have. So definitely listen to that song.
It's going to be in the Spotify playlist for us, so they will have fun listening to it. I can tell you that now.
Awesome.
I and I love you guys bring up some of the coolest songs, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun.
That is fun.
What about a favorite quote?
Probably have a higher purpose than money. And
Hmm.
I think that a lot of the things I do in general and even in my work are for a higher purpose. I'm I am money driven in a lot of ways. We all want money and we need it, but at the end of the day, like you said in my intro, the mental health advocate, like AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, that's like a huge part of my life, and I do their social media all free, and I like have been notorious for giving accounts that I feel deserve it discounts, like accounts that are very heart led and are for a greater good. I'm all about helping people. I even just small businesses. I want small businesses to have an agency feel without paying $1 million a month. And so, like I said, obviously, we love money, but at the end of the day, I would rather help small businesses, be a part of things that are bigger than me, and especially AFSP, that's a really big part of my life, and I dedicate a lot of time to it, and probably time that I should be working, just because it's important to me, and it makes me happy and I enjoy helping people. So yeah, have a higher purpose than money.
You're saying this giving unconditionally to, where your heart is, you know? But when you give unconditionally, it comes back to you a hundredfold. And so that's what happens. I feel that when we give to others or we give to organizations or do something for them, you're going to be given stuff back to you a hundredfold in another way that you don't even know how it's coming.
Absolutely. Yeah, I 100% agree to that. What you put out into the world circles right back to you 100%.
Yeah. And if it's your heart, it's where you have to give unconditionally to that, no matter what.
Hmm.
All right.
Absolutely.
How do you stay motivated, Olivia?
Oh my gosh. I I'm just very I have I'm very goal oriented. I have and a very, I guess for lack of better words, I'm a structured person in the sense that like I have a direction for my life. I know how I want the next 20 years of my life to look like, and I have these little goals, I have these big goals, and really I just stay motivated by staying in touch with those goals. So I have a notebook that I write, at least I try to write my goals down every single day. So I have like my yearly goals and then I have my monthly goals, and I write those monthly goals down every single day. Sometimes it's only every other day, I try my best, but I think just staying in touch with those goals and not letting them slip my mind or go too long without thinking about them, that really helps push me to achieve them because they're always fresh on my mind. Every day I'm thinking about them. So I would say that, and just being a generally goal-oriented person.
So goals, I'm like a freak. I'm a vision board freak, all of it. So where do you, if you don't mind sharing, do you mind sharing where you see yourself in 20 years?
So career-wise, my social media agency, I want to be like I said, I'm this very close circle of social media. I only do social media. I want to be like my goal is a big corporate company. I want to be like corporate. I want many employees. I want many account managers. I want to do full scope marketing. I want people to come to me and only come to me for their email, for their social media, for their commercials, even whatever it is. I want to be a full scale agency, for short on that. And then you kind of briefly mentioned long distance besties earlier. That's a company I co-founded with my two best friends, and it's
Oh,
all about connecting long distance friends. And that we have, oh my gosh, we have so many goals for that. Like we want to turn that into a huge community that connects best friends and long distance. And right now it's long distance best friends. We're very niched into best friends, but we want to get into long distance relationships and long distance family and long distance military relationships.
wow.
So we have all of these avenues. And there's like 1,000 goals we have really for both Social Bean and LDB. There's so many goals, but really just turning them into the big, I guess, corporation, for lack of better words, that
Mhm.
we all are kind of envisioning is the short of it.
You guys are looking to impact the world. That's it.
100%. Yeah, especially with long distance besties. So we're biggest on Instagram right now, and we're just like building this community where we get comments and DMs that are really touching from people that are like, I have a long distance friend too. We're always looking for ways to stay connected. I love seeing your guys' relationship together. You guys are inspiring. Or even there's the other side where people are like, I lost my um I lost my best friend and I don't know how to go on, and it ends up being a whole conversation with them where I feel like we're almost making a difference in the small way we can, and all of these people. So really LDB just turning it into a big community of connection is a big thing.
Wow. And that goes along with your mental health theme as well, because that be having that and connecting with people helps their mental health 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the things I do are very interconnected, actually.
They are. They're
Yeah,
all intertwined.
100%.
Even social being is connected into that 100%. All of it is
Absolutely.
connected.
It
Yep.
is it is like one big circle and it all goes together.
So what is the best way for our audience to stay connected with you, Olivia?
So you can find me on Instagram. My social media company is socialbean.agency. And then my website is www.socialbeanagency.com. And those are the two best ways. My website has all of my information. My Instagram has a link to my website. So, yeah, my Instagram would probably give you the best idea of like who I am. I talk about mental health on there. I talk about me, I talk about my dog, I talk social media tips, absolutely. I talk about client wins. So that's just the best place to get kind of a full overview on who I am and if I'm maybe someone you want to work with. And then Long Distance Besties is on Instagram as at Long Distance Besties LDB.
Awesome. So is there anything else you want to share with our audience before we leave?
Um, so it's interesting. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And I have been talking about that on my social media company's social media page. I've been talking about that. And I think so I just made a post about the good and the bad about social media and the link between mental health. And I think as someone that cares about both of those topics, I think it is really important to use your social media cautiously and to be strict about how you're using it and who you're following and what you're engaging with because social media can be a really powerful place where you can learn a lot and you can make connections, and you can build a community, but it can also be a dangerous place where you get sucked into a scroll, your brain is there for 6 hours. So I think just one thing I've been thinking a lot this month, and I want everybody to know, is it's okay to limit or be strict about the way that you use social media, and be strict about who you follow, and set those boundaries of how you interact on social media. So that's just something I've been thinking a lot about this month.
And what an amazing tip. Yep, amazing. Everybody needs that. Thank you so much for being with us. You're totally amazing, Olivia. Mwah.
Thank you. Thank you. This was great. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.